And to prepare for chanting, we'll clear the energetic channel of the body. Take a big free inhale in through your nose. And open mouth exhale, HA. Inhale, prepare for Om. Take a long inhale in and a slow exhale out. And today I'll offer that you might begin in child's pose. That's a new shape for you. You can come to a hands and knees position like tabletop. You can bring your knees wide and your toes close and sink your hips to your heels, bring your upper body forward and down. For postures like this, you might put your hands underneath your forehead or stack your fists. You might also take your arms out long in front. If you get there and maybe your knees are just not in a sustainable or healthy place, or maybe it just doesn't feel like the right shape for you for any reason at all in the body or in your experience, you might choose to lie on your belly or your side or your back or return to a seat instead. And this is really how asana can help us with this container work. A lot of teachers, a lot of the Katona yoga teachers, but in general, different lineages talk about the asanas as containers for prana, for our energy, right? And so sometimes it's like you could think of your potions on your shelf, as it were, your herbs and your medicinal potions, and like which jar holds what, right? Not every concoction that you make is going to require everything, like a recipe, same idea. So if you get into child's pose and realize that what you're cooking today doesn't need salt and you're using salt, holding salt, change the container and let yourself be in a different shape to hold a different energy. And remember that that energetic work is often the seed. Child's pose, to be like a child, to find humility, to let your spine return to its kyphotic curve and the round that it took when it formed in utero. Even more than being a child, you might think of your evolutionary history, that same curve in every vertebrate animal for millions of years. Where we come from is pertinent to where we're going, but most pertinent is the practice of being where you are. And we often do that by coming towards the breath. As the breath you're breathing now is happening now, right? And always will be. So if you're paying attention to your breathing, you will in some sense be coming towards the present tense or using the thread of your awareness to weave together your mind with your body. And let's find Ujjayi Pranayama as the offering, upward liberating breath, psychic breath, victorious breathing, all names for it. Deep breathing is recommended in a way that feels good for you. Exhale the air you have in your lungs, get empty, and maybe you feel your belly draw in as that extra last breath falls out. And slowly begin to inhale in through your nose, snoring into your belly, filling up into your rib cage slowly, and then maybe into the chest, and hold it softly at that mostly full place. And open your mouth to exhale, HA. At the bottom, begin to breathe in again through your nose. Try to slow your breath down by slowing down how it fills the chambers of your torso, right? How quickly. But don't fight or force. No need to work that hard. Hold it full. Open mouth, exhale, HA. Allow any sound to push air out from the diaphragm. Ujjayi Pranayama, once you are empty, breathe in through your nose slowly. Spread the breath three-dimensionally, front and back, in your rib cage, in your low belly, in your chest, and hold it as softly as you can at mostly full. With lips sealed, sigh out through your nose, that same HA feeling, but through your nostrils. And continue to breathe in this way. Inhale in through the nose, snoring and spreading. Exhaling out through the nose, emptying and sighing. And continue to breathe in this way, inhaling and exhaling. Try to slow your breath down, but without fighting it, right? Allow it to slow down, support it so that it can slow down, pay attention to it so it feels held enough to be vulnerable enough to slow down, etc., and so on. The breath is also your energy, also the energy inside of the container of your posture. So notice where the breath goes and how it sort of presses up against the inside of its sort of earth suit box. And little by slowly, breath by breath, start to move when it feels good for you. You might need to address something, like maybe your knees need to move now, right? Or maybe your neck needs to roll in this way and you've known that for a while. Maybe it's more experimental, just wiggling slowly, moving in a way that is felt through, like when you walk through a dark room, you know, on your way to the light switch. And as you start to breathe and move, see if the breath and the movement can happen fully and deeply, like good collaborators with one another, not afraid to take up space, to figure out how they have space with one another, how they work together. Let the breath continue to be a physical practice that you're doing, paying attention to it once more. As you move over the next 3 to 5 rounds of breath, slowly draw yourself upward and forward towards a hands and knees position. We'll head towards tabletop shape. And when you arrive, you can stack your hands relatively under your shoulders and continue to experiment. Right? You might still be moving around or rolling your hips. There might be neck or jaw address for you. There might be something totally new. I think coming from hands and knees, we can remember that animals move in a lot of ways that are possible, capable in our bodies, because guess what? We're animals too. But we tend to forget, right? We have a cultural propriety, an idea of like the way a body should be held, ways that express normalcy and conformity to others. So notice how you feel about the edges of those things too. The body and how it's moving is more connected to those other layers of idea and self than we tend to think. And slowly, in the next 3 to 5 rounds of breath, you might balance things you're doing from side to side. Start to resolve action. We'll meet up in the hands and knees position, the table shape, which is a good relative architecture structure to build other shapes upon. As you press down slowly and heavily into your right index knuckle and thumb on the mat until you feel strength in your shoulder and your inner joint of the pec. Use an inhale to reach your left arm up overhead, maybe gazing upward. And on your exhale, thread the needle underneath and behind your right wrist. Come down to shoulder, ear, or jaw, and relax your neck. You're welcome to do whatever version you like. Some people take the arm out, press the hand down, or reach it up or behind the back. You're welcome to cross the ankles or find a way to stabilize your feet all your own. It's okay to be more forward or back from your hips. The length of your spinal bones will be different from person to person, body to body. We accommodate architecture differently. Just like if you had a bunch of different rocks, you would build your house around their shape, right? And slowly bring your right hand back to the earth. Inhale, take your left arm out and then up, reaching upward. And exhale the left hand to the mat. And once your left thumb and index finger are down, plug them down until you feel some strength or maybe some heat or action accrue. And then inhale to reach your right arm up, gazing upward. And exhale, thread the needle underneath and behind your left wrist. Come down to shoulder, ear, or jaw. It could be the same from side to side. You might even make the same choices. It could also be different, right? Sometimes we actually have to attend to things differently. I think that's the joke someone sent me. I usually say sometimes it requires different address, but it's like sometimes they're in a different time zone. They live in different addresses, right? And let that be true. Good neighbors don't have to be the same. And press down into your left hand. And inhale to reach your right arm back out and then up, gazing upward if your neck allows. And exhale to tabletop, 2 hands on the earth. All right, let's move the spine. Inhale to cow pose, drop your belly and your ribs, lift your chin and your tailbone up. Gaze up only if your neck feels good about it. Exhale, cat pose, round your spine. You might tuck your tail under, tuck your chin, plug your thumbs down. Inhale, cow pose, breathe your heart up and your tail up. And exhale, cat pose, round in. And do a few more with your own breath and in your own timing. You might experiment, if you haven't done so already, with curling your toes under, sometimes bending your elbows at certain points can change things in a nifty way as well. And if you tend to have a lot of space in your lower back, you might begin to do work like lifting your shins and the tops of your feet off the mat towards your toes to work your hamstrings. We're going to do a little bit of that together in a moment. Okay, the next time you're in the cow pose, pause. Keep the spinal shape, and on your exhale, start to squeeze your right hamstring until you bend your right knee and your right shin and foot lift off the ground. Squeeze your right toes towards your tail. Now, it doesn't have to lift very far, and it really depends on that bulk, right? You might have very strong hamstrings, and that may actually be what stops you from getting your heel any closer. Take another inhale. And on your exhale, release your right foot down. Inhale, breathe your heart forward and up. Just refind the cow shape if it went away. And exhale to cat, curl, compress and round. Draw your navel in. Good. Inhale, cow pose. Lift your heart up, your tail up. This time, exhale, start to bend your left knee. Use your hamstring to lift your shin up, your foot up off the ground, and squeeze your heel towards your tail. Drop your shoulders away from your neck. Widen your collarbones if it's available. Breathe. Good. Release your left leg on the exhale and take another inhale, cow pose. Find the shape if it went away in your spine. And exhale to cat, curl and round in. Good. Inhale, cow pose. Stay. And on the exhale, you might try squeezing your hamstrings. Your feet might lift an inch off the ground, and that's okay. You might have the space in your lower back to squeeze both heels towards the tail, toes towards the tail. You can work flexed or pointed in your ankles. Take another inhale, slowly lower your feet down, lift your heart up, cow pose. Exhale to cat pose, round in. Good. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, neutral spine, tabletop. And on your exhale, begin to press into your thumbs. Make sure your chest feels like it's over your hands. And inhale to reach your right leg back behind you for spinal balancing. Now, you can totally back bend in this work, but if you always feel like your lower back pains you when you do abdominal work, then you might put an actual tuck in for a while just to build the strength in the front of your body. Reach your heart forward and try to level your hips in a way that makes them feel neutral, not about an external performance of flattening or squaring anything. Take a big free inhale in. On your exhale, bring your right knee towards your nose, chin towards your chest, round your spine, dome your shoulders. Inhale, extend your right leg back, your chest forward, maybe gaze forward. Exhale, knee to chest, round in, tuck the chin if your neck allows. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, take your right leg long. Exhale, circle it out to the right and put the sole of your foot down on the earth about in line with your left knee. You can stay on the blade with a flexed ankle or roll it down. Bring your left hand under your heart and inhale to reach your right arm up. Now you can always bump your bottom hand up onto a stack of books if you need a little extra height. Pad the left knee if you need to. We're going to flow a little from this shape. So take an inhale, look up, roll open, and exhale, almost thread the needle. Go underneath and behind your left wrist. You might even go on an angle as if you were trying to reach for your left ankle bone with your right pinky finger. Then inhale, go all the way back out and up, reaching upward. You might even roll open like a back bend and let your arm hang back. And exhale, go underneath and behind and reach back towards your left foot, strong in your inner right thigh. Good. One more time. Inhale, reach out and up. Plant your right heel down. Make sure the leg is strong. And exhale, curl underneath and behind. Good. Inhale, reach out and then up. And exhale, bring your right hand down. where your left hand was. And inhale, lift your left arm up. So this shape we're going to just stay in. This is usually awkward, right? If you feel a lot of pressure on your inner right knee, bend your knee if you haven't already. And try to stick out your right butt cheek a little bit more. Roll your heart to the left and breathe. A little bit like the sensation of something like revolved triangle and oxymoronic twist. Take an inhale. And exhale, release 2 hands down to the earth. Walk your hands back towards your legs and rise up into gate pose, standing your shoulders over your hips. Inhale, take your arms out and up, reaching upward. And on your exhale, cactus the arms to back bend. Bend the elbows, pull the shoulder blades down, and lift your heart up. Inhale, arms up, reaching upward. Extend through the back of your neck. And on your exhale, bring your right hand down your right leg and tilt to the right, side body stretching. Sometimes it's interesting just to squeeze your glutes to see if it changes where the stretch is, to draw your abdominal muscles back. Those are the main reasons for those sorts of cues. The shape of your pelvis is controlled a lot. Your spine is controlled a lot with those muscles. So just noticing what you're doing with them can be pertinent, but try not to get too clenchy in any of those areas either. Inhale, rise back up, reaching upward. And exhale, you can draw hands through heart center. We're trying to go as slow as you can. You're going to put your hands back on the ground eventually under your shoulders like tabletop. Try to do it so light that it's like the softest landing on the greenest moss in the world, like an Earth Day offering. And then once your hands are down, stack your shoulders over your wrists. Take your time. It might be a few more breaths to get the hands down. And inhale to pick your right foot up and sweep it back. We're going to meet in tabletop on that next exhale. And you can move around a little bit. It can be nice to sort of stir the spoons of your thigh bones around your hip sockets back and forth. And again, let yourself have some freedom where you can find it. Returning to tabletop, take an inhale to curl your toes under and exhale to downward facing dog. Spin your tail up and back, hang your head. You might bend right knee and left knee. You might spin your tail up and come up onto your tippy toes. Breathe as you do this work. We're doing a lot this week of sort of noodling into things, of allowing ourselves to warm up and to stretch in before doing broad actions like salutations or standing postures. If it gets to be a lot in arm load bearing, please feel free to take the work at a different level at any time, or to change it to find appropriate work for you. Let your creativity move you where you need it to go. And from the center of your down dog, inhale, lift your right leg up and back. And exhale, scorpion the dog. Open your hip and bend your knee and breathe. Now you can do this also from the tabletop shape if you'd like. You're welcome to flip your dog over. You're welcome to take your leg out and around. Again, you might let stretch happen in the psoas. You're welcome to roll your right shoulder, armpit down, or to keep it up and open. Often I have to keep my head up so I can talk to you in the microphone, but you should feel free to drop your head and let your neck go. Inhale, straighten and extend. Right leg high back and long. And exhale, knee to nose, chin to chest, shoulders over wrists like plank. Inhale, plank. Step your right foot back, heart forward. Exhale, knees to the mat. Bend your elbows and lower all the way to the mat. Tops of your feet down. Inhale, cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Exhale, bring your chin or forehead down. Let's do it 2 more times. Inhale, cobra. Use your exhale to get long as you lower down. Always follow your own breath. 1 more time. Curl your toes under. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, organize. Bring your shoulders over your wrists, your knees under your hips, the tops of your feet down. All right, we'll do all that on the opposite side. Take an inhale to reach your left leg out long behind you, and take a moment again. You don't need to micromanage everything, right? Your body's a body, arches and spirals. Nothing should be square. It's not about evening the score from one side to the other. And figure out how to feel balanced and supported. You might have to ask muscles to come to play or muscles to soften out to find that space. Take a big free inhale. On your exhale, gather your left knee towards your nose, round your spine, press the earth away with everything that's touching it. Inhale, extend, leg back, maybe up if you're into that back bend thing. And exhale, round in. Again, inhale, reach it long and back. And exhale, knee to nose, chin to chest. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, circle your left leg out to the left and put your left foot down about in line with your right knee. And stack your right hand under the center of your right heart, or your heart, maybe not the right side of it. And inhale, take your left arm up to the sky. Let yourself twist open to the left and gaze up. And take a few breaths here. You might figure out what you want from that bottom shoulder. Often it's just doing what it's most used to doing. I don't know about you. My shoulders are most used to tensing and hunching. So I tend to try to change them a little bit in these positions to ask new strength to recruit in areas to balance that strength from life and tension. Take an inhale, roll open, maybe look up. And on your exhale, almost thread the needle. Go underneath and behind. You might reach back towards your right ankle with your left pinky finger. And then take it back out and up. Inhale, expand and roll open. And exhale, thread underneath and behind. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, take your arm out and then up. And this time, exhale your left hand down where your right hand was, and inhale your right arm up. And on this side, we're just going to stay. You might need to bend your left knee a little bit. The inner knee will take a lot of pressure, especially as the hip socket meets its limits. Roll open, look up, or hang the head. And as you allow yourself to sort of figure out where you want to be, notice not only just the loudest voices, maybe the shoulder, the neck, the hand, the arm working hard, but also what is still breathing, thriving, what those points of effort are making space for. Good, another inhale. And exhale, release. Bring two hands down to the earth. Walk your hands back towards your legs and rise up to kneel standing over this triangular shape. Strong root of your left heel down. Inhale, take your arms out and up, slowly reaching upward. And on your exhale, cactus the arms to back bend, pull your shoulder blades down and lift your heart up. And inhale the arms up, reaching upward. Side bend to the left. Bring your left hand perhaps to slide down your left thigh. Right arm up and over. Do what you will with your head. Strong in your inner left thigh. Ujjayi pranayama, in and out through your nose. Good. Inhale, rise up. Take both arms up and slow. Take many breaths to replace your palms on the earth. You might bring your hands through heart center. And try to transfer weight into your legs so much that the landing of your hands is as soft as possible, quiet as possible. And then use an inhale to stack your shoulders over your wrists. And an exhale to feel strength in the front seam of your body. Inhale, pick up your left leg and circle it back behind you. And exhale to tabletop, hands and knees position. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose, curl your toes under. Exhale, down dog, spin your knees and hips up and back and breathe and move. You might nod your head no again. You might move around a little bit. You're feeling like you have excess energy. You can always take little hops. You're feeling squirrely. Right? Sometimes that kind of action can feel light and buoyant. Just make sure you're not sort of putting your body through the ringer to deal with what's happening in your emotional world. Your body deserves a little care in that way. And returning to neutral downward facing dog pose. Use an inhale to extend your left leg up and back. And exhale to scorpion the dog. Open your hip and bend your knee. Hang your head. Relax your neck. Try to find stability in your hands, extending through the shoulders so you're drawing weight back towards your right foot, and always keep your right knee bent. You might be moving a little, you might be moving a lot. It's okay to sort of roll around the socket of your hip, make extra space where you need to. You can do this from hands and knee position instead if you like. Good. Take an inhale, straighten and extend. Left leg high back and long. Exhale, knee to nose, chin to chest, shoulders over wrist like plank. Inhale, plank, step back. Exhale, lower all the way to the mat. Feel free to use your knees for stability. Tops of your feet down. Inhale, cobra, bhujangasana. Exhale, bring your upper body down. Curl your toes under. Inhale through hands and knees or plank position. Lead with your tail as you exhale to downward facing dog pose. Take a big free inhale in through your nose in downward dog. And open your mouth to exhale, HA. At the bottom, inhale in again through your nose, long and slow. And follow it up with Ujjayi, exhale out through your nose. All right, take an inhale. Come up high onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees if they're not already bent to about 20 degrees. From your lower back, inhale, spin your tail up, your heart towards your ankles. And exhale, drive your heels down towards classic dog pose. Again, inhale, spike your heels up. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, tail up, extend through the shoulders. Then exhale, drive your heels a little lower. They don't have to get all the way down by any means. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees. This time, press with your feet and inhale. Keep your knees bent. Come forward like tabletop. Knees hover above the earth. Exhale, bent knee down dog. Spin your tail high. Inhale, come forward. Knees stay bent this whole time. Shoulders move over the wrist. Knees hover above the earth. Exhale, bent knee down dog. Take it up. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, go back. Good. This time, stay back. Inhale, lift your tail high. And exhale, drive your heels low. Nice. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, just look forward. Lift your chin a little. Exhale, step, hop, or float to the top of your mat and hang in forward fold. First one, let it be ragdolly. You might go wide and hang your head. You can take your feet out or bend your knees. If you're close to a table or a chair, you could also sort of use that as a place to rest your hands, especially if your lower back reacts a lot to deep action or full body weight of the upper body. Relax your neck if it's available. Bending the knees a lot is often a way to circumvent the hamstrings, which tend to want all of our attention in these sorts of actions. And the lower back is often more what we're trying to address. Next couple of exhales, release your arms out of any chosen grip. And choose your feet for some sun salutes. You might like it hips distance. That's often really a stable, sturdy position, which can be good to work from. You're welcome to bring your feet together close. You might bring the toes to touch and leave the heels a bit wide if you feel like your ankle bones knock. Inhale, halfway lift. Once you've found it, roll your heart out. It can be lower or higher than halfway, but extend your spine like cow pose. And exhale, forward fold. Round your spine, bring your forehead in the direction of your legs like cat pose. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. One more time with your own breath. Hang your head at the bottom, your shoulders. Take 5 or 6 rounds of breath to roll up towards standing in Samastitihi. Take your time. Try to drag your head if it's available. Let it be the very last thing to lift. If you need to rise in a different way to accommodate low back, just because it feels better to be supported, do it. And as you arrive at standing in the next few rounds of breath, you might take the time to roll your shoulders down your back, to stack your head in relative neutral over the rest of your body. Before you give it all of your attention, try to find neutral. And then when you realize, yeah, no, I do have to adjust my shorts, like do it, But remember, the idea is to be so focused on what's going inside that like if your t-shirt's in the wrong place, it's like totally okay. Notice that as an obstacle, that as a reality. Remember, there's no shame involved in those sorts of choices. It's just another thing that we practice. On your next inhale, begin to notice how you're standing on your feet. Can you soften any tension in the toes so they stop grabbing? Can you feel on the exhales the weight of your heels on the earth? And remember that this relationship of paying attention to gravity has evolved over again millennia. Your inner ear gives you a little bit of sense of vestibular system, your proprioception, the sort of many crystals in your body that give you squish sense that create resistance against movement. You know where you are in space without your eyes. Your eyes give you information too. You're without the eyes visually inspecting everything, maybe even with eyes closed. Notice how your body feels its way into gravity, how it feels the earth. And that always this is your collaboration, spinning planet, revolving universe. No stillness is possible in physics. No stilling the mind is truly a psychic ability because it would be something that is still. And on your next Ujjayi inhale, flutter your eyes open. On your next Ujjayi exhale, pay attention to what's around you. And slowly at first, Surya Namaskara A. Inhale your arms out and up, reaching upward, looking up if your neck allows, maybe bringing the hands close. Exhale, forward fold, dive down, bend the knees if you like, stick out your tail. Inhale, halfway lift. Listen, exhale, fold and step your right foot back, long, low lunge. Inhale, like cow lunge, lift your heart up. Exhale, plank pose, left foot meets the right. Chaturanga, bend your elbows, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale to upward dog or take cobra from the belly. And exhale towards downward facing dog pose. Spin your tail high and your heels low. Breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. Good. On your next Ujjayi exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. You might have to grab it and pull it up. Inhale like cow lunge, send your heart forward. You can let your hip and back knee dip. Exhale, step forward and fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart. Exhale, forward fold, hang down deeply. Inhale, arms up pose, Urdhva Hastasana, reach all the way up. Exhale, Samasthitihi, let your arms come down, stand in neutral. Good, inhale, arms up, reaching upward. Exhale, forward fold, dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart. Exhale, fold, step your left foot back. Inhale, lengthen your spine, cow lunge. Exhale, chaturanga, step back, lower halfway or all the way. If you're coming to up dog, inhale, strong legs, kick your feet down, press your palms down. Exhale, downward dog, tail high, heels low, and breathing. Exhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. You might have to grab it and pull it up, long, low lunge style. Inhale, like cow lunge, peel your heart forward. Exhale, step forward and fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms up pose, reaching upward. Exhale, Samastitihi, arms come down. All right, we're going to remove some steps, make it more direct. Inhale, arms up, but you can keep them if you like it. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to plank. Lower halfway, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, up dog or one of its partners. Exhale, Adho Mukha, downward dog pose, Ujjayi, breathe. Down dog is a super interesting container. It's not for everybody, literally, right? It might not be genetically your good friend. So you're welcome to be in a different friend, tabletop, plank, to come to child's pose, to come to a seat. Remember, salutations are about clearing the cycle, are about repetition, to clean the inside of the barrel out, as it were, to create heat and mobility. And notice what you really need and how much the dial really needs to be turned up for you, right? You know how you like your coffee. You know how you take the posture, as it were. On your next ujjayi exhale, step, hop, or float forward. Arrive on the soles of your feet at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up pose, Urdhva Hastasana, reach upward. Exhale, Samastitihi, return to neutral. Ekam, inhale, arms up. Due, exhale, folding deeply. Trini, inhale, halfway lift. Chatwari, exhale, step or float. Chaturanga Dandasana, Pancha, inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward dog pose. Shat, exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog pose. Ujjayi pranayama, please, in and out through your nose. Steady the ground under your thumbs. Use your next ujjayi exhale to travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up pose. Exhale, Samasthiti. A few more. Ekam, inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Due, exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Trini, inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Chatwari, exhale, step or float to Chaturanga Dandasana of your choice. Pancha, inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, a back bend, perhaps. Shat, exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog, breathe. Steady your shoulders. You can widen your hands. You can try turning your index fingers more forward. Whatever shape you're touching the earth with, try to spread the weight that you're distributing down into the earth evenly across it based on the size and sensation of those structures. Relax your neck as best you can and continue to shift weight back towards your feet, even if it's just tiny millimeter shifting over years and years. That's how it is for most of us. On your next exhale, step or float forward, land on your feet. Supta, inhale, halfway lift, unroll. Ashto, exhale, forward folding deeply. Noah, inhale all the way back up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale to Samastitihi, return to neutral. Last one, Ekam, inhale, arms up. Due, exhale, forward fold. Trini, inhale, halfway lift. Chatwari, exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. And Pancha, inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Shat, exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Ujjayi pranayama, in and out through your nose. Focus on your exhales. Distraction practice can be really helpful. Remember that you are powerful. Sometimes a firm voice is required, even when no violence is being accrued. Sometimes being sure is part of structure, part of our work. If you feel sure, let that boundary work be part of what you're doing. Postures, containers are really just that, different types of boundaries. In your next exhale, step or float forward, top of the mat. Supta, inhale, halfway lift, extend your heart. Ashto, exhale, forward fold in. Noah, inhale all the way up to Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale to Samasthitihi, return to neutral. Nice work. We're going to do one sun B. We're going to stay in the postures though, right? That way we can breathe and be with intensity in our own gentle way. Take a big free inhale in through your nose. Exhale, bend your knees for Utkatasana. Sink your hips. Now your feet can be together. They can be hips distance. It's okay for your knees to go wide as long as you don't feel pain in your knees. Stick your tail out and use your middle back to lift your heart up as you breathe. You might bring your arms out or have your hands in front of you. You can take your your arms out wide overhead or close. Gaze upward only if your neck allows, and try to turn the eyes of your heart forward and up. Flare your front ribs and sit down into your heels, back out of your knees, and breathe. 5 Ujjayi breaths. Feel the power of Utkatta, the fierce pose. Another warrior shape. Exhale, forward fold, next available round. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank pose, step back and pause. I'm going to stay in plank for about 5 breaths. You might choose to do this on your knees or on your forearms. Both are good ways to work around wrist issues or to create stability. Usually there's just a preference in your body. Breathe where you are. Try not to overmanage or over tense. Notice where tension accrues, unneeded effort in the body, and try to relax it. Good. Now the offering is 5 breaths of lowering, but you lower when you need to. Take an inhale and begin to lower slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, upward dog or cobra if you lowered all the way down to your belly. Good for you, me too. And exhale back towards downward facing dog pose. 5 breaths. Exhale, step your right foot forward for warrior 1. Spin your back heel down and inhale, rise up. 5 breaths. Again, this is a back bend. It's okay to let your lower back curve, but support it by lifting your belly in, the floor of your pelvis up, pressing your feet down. You don't need to square your pelvis forward, especially if it pulls your back heel off the earth. Arms can be up or out or in front of you. You're welcome to look up, breathe. Exhale, hands to the mat. Lower all the way down. 5 breaths in cobra. Inhale to enter and stay on the exhale. Now, if you're feeling like you have a little space, you can use every inhale to press your hands down and lift a little higher, and exhale to get soft and open there. And continue with the rounds of your breath in that way. Be kind to yourself in depth work. Next available exhale, lower all the way down. From knees or toes, inhale through plank. Exhale to downward dog, and right away step your left foot forward between your hands for warrior 1. Spin your back heel down and inhale, rise up. Now you could always do this as a crescent lunge. Your back knee feels twisted. Reach up and breathe. Finding a version that feels stable on this left side. Apply Uddiyana and Mula Bandha. Notice how things are. Next exhale or 2, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. 5 breaths. Ujjayi, exhale, step or float forward. Land on your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And stay in your forward fold. You might reach your hands behind your calves to press them towards you. You might also use more of a loose hanging methodology instead of that action. You might, if you feel like your body's close to your legs, contract your abdominals and use them to pull your legs and your body towards each other. You might, if you feel rounded, relax your abdominals and tense your quads so that you are bringing your body together against a different tilt of resistance. Breathing. Definitely bend your knees as much as you like. When you're ready, use an exhale to release your hands and bend your knees. Contract your quads and hamstrings. Sit low in your hips and inhale up to Utkatasana, fierce pose, 5 breaths. Press into your feet. Inhale, stand all the way up to Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, Samasthitihi. Let your arms come down. Inhale, take your arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to a yogi squat. So you can widen your feet out, hips distance if you gotta. Spin your knees and toes out. You can always do this with your arms more under your chest and your heels more lifted, or sit up on a stack of books or blocks if you have them around. You're welcome to press your hands at heart center and press the knees out to lift your heart up. You're always welcome to choose to allow your ankles to have a little more space by widening your feet even more distant from one another. Take a big free inhale, and on your exhale, slowly release your hands to the earth, and we'll step the left foot back into lizard or dragon. And drop your left knee down if you like, and always keep it up. There are upright versions. You're welcome to stay lifted in your chest, let your toes turn out or roll to the blade of your foot. I'm going to suggest that you take some time to twist here. If you're staying upright, bring your left hand down and take your right arm up. If you're coming down to recline, you can come straight down onto your hands or your forearms and hang your head. Come down onto a pillow or a nearby stool, etc. Breathing. About 5 more breaths of this work. Good, and release slowly your hands down towards the inside of your right foot. And start to straighten your right leg and send your hips back. Now your foot's wide. Now it might be interesting to keep it wide and even keep it turned out. You might decide you need to roll it towards center. And slowly over the next 3 or 4 breaths, make your way all the way back to sit towards the space inside of your left heel. Now you might end up really on your right butt cheek and your left hip is off the ground, and that's okay. You might feel like you're turning to the right with your legs and your body. That's okay too, as long as there's no pain in your left knee. You're welcome to sit up on something if you wish. You might stay upright here and roll your left hip towards the earth if the knee feels okay about it. You might reach for your right foot with your hands and start to fold forward over your right leg for hamstring action. If you want more on that left quad, start to recline recline backward onto your hands or your forearms behind you. You might come all the way onto your back. Tuck your tail, squeeze your butt a little, relax and extend through your quad. If you reclined back or folded forward, start to draw yourself back up towards neutral. Press into your hands and your right foot, bend your right knee. Start to use that contraction to draw yourself back forward. Curl your back toes under and lift your back knee up off the mat. Inhale, look forward, step up to the top for forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll. And exhale, forward fold. Rock your feet out wide again for squatting. Bend your knees, sink your hips low, and lift your heart up. Squatting is not for everybody. For some people, it's like great lower back relief, right? So if you do feel good, you don't have to feel bad about it. If it's not for you, always feel free to modify it. You could also crouch down with your heels lifted and get a lot of the same beneficial actions. There's a bone in the foot and some anatomy that just doesn't allow your ankle to flex far enough to put your heel down, even if you're super bendy in all the other ways. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, step your right foot back to the back of the mat and drop your right knee down. Lizard lunge. You can stay on your hands. You can come to your forearms and fold. You might stay more upright, working a lift of your chest, walking your left foot out or turning it out. I suggest to work twisting in that variety. Take your left arm up or your left hand to your knee and breathe. About 5 more breaths to work in dragon. Good. Next couple of exhales. Come back towards neutral, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders and press with your left foot to send your hips back towards your right knee. And keep on going. Take your time. Pause anywhere that's interesting on the journey. And drawing your hips towards the earth inside your right heel. And some of us will benefit from rolling out a strong calf muscle a little bit. Just be real kind with your knee. Knees feel real funny and they're real, temperamental. So really give them the space that they need because they perform high, right? They're a real good diva in that way. You are welcome to fold forward. If folding forward was of use to you on the other side, stretch your hamstring. You are welcome to go back onto your elbows, forearms. Choose your own adventure kind of moment here in the yoga class. You're welcome to hang your head back. If your knee being folded like this is a lot and the single leg variety, it's always okay to sit up on something. Sometimes that just brings you to a range that's of more use to you. Better container for the energy and the work you're doing right now. And if you folded forward or went back, start to spend the next few breaths drawing yourself back towards neutral. And then once you're in neutral, press your hands down to start to lift yourself up and over and return into that long, low lunge. Curl your back toes under and lift your back knee off the mat. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to step forward and fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, crouch down until you can sit all the way on your mat. And once you're sitting down, roll all the way down onto your back. Once you're on the back of your body, gather your knees into your chest and squeeze them in. Give yourself a little bit of a hugging action. And keep your right leg in and send your left leg long. And you can keep squeezing. Sometimes that wind relieving action, Pavanamuktasana or Apanasana, feels good. You might choose then to take it to twisting, take your right knee across your body to your left. If you choose a different twist, feel free to wrap up your legs or place a cushion between them, send your right arm out. And it's totally okay if your right shoulder pops up, but if you feel like you're working real hard to keep it down, you might bend it or soften it. You don't have to look to the right, but you can if you want to. Halfway through your next inhale, begin to bring your right leg back up into your chest and give it another good squeeze or two on the exhale. Before sending your right leg long, use a breath or two to gather your left knee into your chest. And again, hug it for a moment. See if you can get the hip socket to relax a little bit. Do some of the work with your upper body and see what happens in softness. You can stay there in Apanasana or Pavanamuktasana, or you can take your knee across to the right side and send your left arm out to the left, twisting the other way, maybe mimicking your leg variation from side to side. Notice again your breath, the container of action. Now that we're winding towards rest, you might require different containers, right? We work in different types of spaces than we sleep for a reason. In your next few breaths, begin to bring your left leg back in. Give it a couple of good squeezes before sending it long. Consider what you need. You might need your knees into your chest both for a few more breaths. There might be a wiggle. You might need to grab a sweatshirt or head over to a blanket or a comfy couch. You might need to start to accrue pets into the close space for snuggling. You might need to take your legs up a real or imaginary wall. There might be things to do that the body needs. You just feel like you got to do today. Feel free to do whatever you need to do on your way down to resting. Maybe another 10 or 15 breaths of action maximum. You don't need anything, head to rest. That's a skill. That's a city itself, an accomplishment to be able to go from action to rest. So if you can do that, practice that magic power, feel free. You can close your eyes or look at a spot on your ceiling or maybe up at the sky. You might relax your facial mask, let your jaw hang, your teeth hang away, your tongue hang. Practice letting your face be expressionless. Let your shoulders soften. You might choose to put your body in a position of rest that isn't on your back. You could be on your side or your stomach. You could choose to take a meditation seat. And begin to give over the weight of your body to gravity. Let your bones be pulled down. Give over any manipulation of your breath that you're still doing, any breath practice of Ujjayi. And you can take a couple of exhales to try to offload and settle it down, but this is another accomplishment to be able to let go of that same breath, to turn off the faucet the same way we turned on the faucet of that sort of pranic access. And try to let your breath become neutral as it can. We'll rest in this way for just a couple of minutes. I know we're a little over time, and then I'll call you up and out. But if you need to turn off so you have extra time to rest, extra time to move, extra time to settle down, do it. Or if you need to head out because it's just time for it to be over for you, it's okay to do that. Otherwise, let yourself pay attention to the sensations that rise up and fall out. Pay attention to your experience in this moment. Pay attention to how things really are. Sahana vavatu, sahano bhunaktu, saha viryam karavavahai, tejasti navaditamastu, mavit vashavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. If you're lying in rest and are able or wish to remain in rest, do. The time has come to begin to return towards action. Begin by going inward with your awareness to watch the organic rise and fall of your breath. And as the breath rises and falls, you might start to manipulate it towards action again. Ask it to be gently deeper and slower and longer. Access that ability to push and pull in your own energy again. And as you do, you can ride that movement into kind intuitive motion in the body, slowly adding stretches and wiggles. You might be very slow and subtle in this action. It might be more broad. Run your tongue over your teeth, scrunch and spread your face, stretch out or out. Take your time. You might pick a breath to draw your knees and your arms into a curl and roll onto your favorite side. We'll meet in sitting today, so very slowly over the next 5 or so breaths, draw yourself up. As you do, that's a classical chant in the same lineage of Krishnamacharya, from which most of my background and learning comes from about yoga, besides the learning that I do get, that I learned from all of you, from being in time and space with friends, students, peers. Um, the overarching meaning of that chant, the Sanskrit translation to English, we always lose a little bit, but the overarching meaning is, may we together be protected, may we together know joy, may our work together meant for the betterment and liberation of all be brilliant, may we not fight, hate, or dispute with one another, may this work lead us towards infinite, universal, cosmic peace. So if you'd like, you could fold your hands in the Anjali Mudra, the symbol of non-dualism, the meeting place between things that seem disparate and oppositional. You could hold that idea in your mind that the separateness is really an illusion. There's always a place on the spectrum of everything where even the most disparate objects or ideas become one. Thank you for your time, your energy, your effort. If you like, you could draw your thumbs to your third eye, acknowledging that the mind must always find a way to bow to the intuition that dwells in the heart. You wish, you can bow to yourself and seal in your practice. Thank you.